So, let's talk about the world of Arreqqana. It's a place where things like family, power, who inherits what, well, those aren't just dusty old traditions. They're literally written by the land itself. From the coasts all the way to the mountains, we're going to see just how geography shapes, well, everything.
So let me ask you this, and it's a question that's going to guide us through this whole thing. What if your family, everything about them, depended on the actual ground you're standing on, your whole future, who you are? It's a wild thought, right? Well, to find out how that works, we've got to start our journey right in the heart of Arreqqana's oldest traditions.
Okay, so our first stop, we're diving into the matrilineal heartlands. And in these huge, fertile parts of Arreqqana, it's pretty simple. Lineage, property, power. Literally everything is traced exclusively through the mother side of the family. The mother line is law here.
And you can't get more classic than our first stop, the lush, powerful coastal queendoms. It's like the very rhythm of the tides dictates the rhythm of life and a family. And the rules here, they are crystal clear. Lineage, property, even the family's sigil, it all goes from mother to daughter. No exceptions. Get this, noble women can even take multiple co-husbands. But it doesn't matter who the father is, the kids always belong to the mother's house. Period. You see, this isn't just some random social rule. It's a whole worldview. For the people living on the coasts and the islands, the sea is everything. It's the source of all life, it's powerful, it's life-giving, and to them, it's fundamentally feminine. And that single core belief, it shapes their entire society. All right, let's move away from the coast and head inland. As we travel, we find ourselves in the deep forest realms. Now, the main idea is the same. It's all about matrilineal descent. But things here have a very unique cultural flavor. So instead of the sea, identity here is tied to the ancient woods. Families trace their history through what they call a tree mother line. And check out these titles. Grandmothers are revered as root keepers. How cool is that? They're basically the guardians of all the family's ancestral wisdom. And yeah, men can be guardians of the family, but when it comes to inheritance, it always flows through the daughters. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to climb high up into the southern mountain queendoms. And hey, don't mix these up with the mountains in the north. We'll get to those guys in a bit, trust me. Up here in the southern peaks, the matrilineal traditions are just as strong, but they have this fiery, almost spiritual core to them. The story goes that lineages here were founded by legendary flame mothers. So inheritance isn't just about, land or titles. Daughters inherit sacred flame crystals and take on important temple vows. And in a total flip of what many of us might expect, when a couple gets married, the husband is the one who packs his bags and joins his wife's household. But okay, now our journey's about to take a really sharp turn, because not everywhere in Arreqqana follows the mother's line, not even close. So let's travel to the lands where the rules are completely flipped on their head. It's a striking contrast, to say the least. Think about the most unforgiving places you can imagine. The great deserts, the rugged northern mountains. In places like these, the raw demands of survival have forged a totally different kind of society. Here, it's all about controlling trade routes and the brutal realities of constant warfare. And that has put the father's line right at the center of all power. And you can see this super clearly in two key regions. In the desert queendoms, lineage goes from father to son, specifically to control the military and those vital trade caravans. Then you go to the northern mountains, and the system is even more rigid. It's a strict father-to-son warrior inheritance. That's the absolute law.
And this comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's a tale of two mountains. In the south, you honor flame mothers. In the north, it's all about father-to-son warrior lines. Southern daughters get sacred crystals. Northern sons get weapons and titles. Even the marriage rules are a perfect mirror image of each other. It's just a wild reminder of how the same kind of landscape, mountains, can produce completely opposite societies. But of course, life's never that simple, right? The world isn't just black and white. So, smashed between these two huge opposing systems, you've got the flexible middle grounds. These are the regions that have figured out their own way to balance tradition with, well, just getting things done. And these in-between lands kind of fall into two main buckets. First, you've got the countryside. It generally leans toward the mother line, mostly out of respect for the land and the home. And then you've got suburbia. Think market towns, the edges of cities. Here, everything is a pragmatic mix, and it's all designed for one single purpose: getting ahead. So in the countryside, people have this deep reverence for the mother of the hearth. It just makes sense to them that daughters are the ones who usually inherit the family home and the farmland. And the sons, they're expected to marry out, to go join their wives' households. It's not as strict as what you see on the coast, but the mother's line is definitely still the anchor of the family. In fact, there's a common blessing you'll hear in the countryside, na kia na matra. It translates to the thread of the mother's hand. I love that. It really shows you how they see the family, like a beautiful tapestry woven together by generations of women. And then you've got suburbia. Here, tradition pretty much gets thrown in the backseat because strategy is driving the car. The system is bilateral, which just means inheritance can flow through either parent's line. And the big question is why? Well, it's because the choice is always strategic. It's all about what's going to give the family the biggest leg up in business or social standing. So for a suburban family, picking an inheritance line is basically a business decision. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, assess the alliance. Which family connection offers more status? Step 2, follow the trade. Is the real wealth with the father's guild or the mother's property? And finally, step 3, choose the path. They just pick whichever line gives them the greatest advantage. It's pure, uncut pragmatism. Okay, so we've basically toured the entire continent, right? We've seen all these different traditions, but so what? What does it all add up to? Let's zoom out now, take a look at the big picture, and really see why these kinship systems are the absolute foundation of society in Arreqqana. When you boil it all down, across this incredibly diverse world, everything we've seen really fits into just 3 core kinship systems. You've got your matrilineal, your patrilineal, and your mixed systems. And just look at how it's distributed. It's tied directly to the land, just like we said at the beginning. Matrilineal systems, they dominate the fertile, life-giving areas. Patrilineal systems, you find those concentrated in the harsh lands, the deserts and mountains, forged by war and the need to control trade. And those flexible mixed systems, they just fill in all the gaps in between. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this one simple fact. In Arreqqana, your entire life, who you are, what you own, your whole future, is decided by the answer to a single question. Who are your parents? Or maybe more importantly, which one of them holds the thread of your lineage? And that leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. In a world like this, where a marriage is never just about 2 people, where it's actually 2 entire worlds colliding, 2 systems, 2 inheritances, 2 completely different futures, who do you think really holds the power?